Are you ready to turn heads? Luxury isn't just worn, it's experienced. Introducing a Layla Cara style and new up-and-coming designer collection where exclusive shoes and bags for men and women meets your feet. How about you take a handbag and wear it in style, where each piece is personally designed by a Layla Carroll herself and handcrafted from the finest material in Italy. Leather, smooth like butter, bold, timeless, distinctly you. Step into true elegance and make your mark with a Layla Cara style where confidence meets craftsmanship. Visit a Layla Cara style and experience the luxury of art that you wear.
Okay, so this is the introduction: surviving and thriving dysfunction while navigating narcissistic relationships. I take you back to my childhood when I was 13 years old, where it all began. So listen up.
Surviving and thriving dysfunction while navigating narcissistic relationships. It's my 13th birthday, and I'm mad at the world. No birthday party. My grandmother is lying on my brother's bedroom floor, and she cannot talk. I really cannot say why I was so upset. I just know when I walked into Karam's bedroom and saw her lying on the floor, not able to move, nor able to speak a word, it did something to me. Alzheimer's has taken over, and she wasn't doing well. When I walked into the room, it shocked me to see her lying there helpless. I was wondering what was going on with her. The look in her eyes was talking to me, but I couldn't make out what she was trying to say. After all, I was only 13. My mother and her sister Lesla were at their usual, arguing about Grandma and among other things. I think she was worried about them too, because they argued a lot, and when she was healthy, she was the one who was able to get them to stop. But not this time. Man. There they go again. Sounding like two cats fighting, I said as I walked out the front door heading downstairs from our apartment Wild Woods of Bay City, Texas. When I approached my mother's car, I kicked the back tire because I was upset about seeing my grandmother helpless and having to listen to the cat fight on my birthday. This is the worst birthday ever. I hate this day, I yelled at the top of my lungs with tears running down my face as I cried. Today was supposed to be a good day, but all they do is fight. After they stopped arguing, Aunt Lesla took Grandma back to her place, and Mom left out the door behind her. Then I went back upstairs. Mom was gone for a few hours. I was sitting in the living room on the sofa watching television when she came back that night. Karam was in his bedroom doing whatever. She walked over to the TV to turn the volume down. Then she handed me a small jewelry box. I opened it, and inside of it was a silver heart diamond ring. I smiled. I'm sorry for the way the day went. I wanted to do more, but I bought you this ring. I want you to wear it every day, and never take it off for anyone, she said, and gave me a hug. As weeks passed by, there was this guy named Jason. He looked like El DeBarge at the height of his music career in the video, Rhythm of the Night. Jason was my brother's classmate, and Karam didn't like him, not at all. He hated that I had a huge crush on him since I was in the 5th grade. I can admit, I was a stupid little schoolgirl that thought I knew what I was doing. I used to write love letters to Jason and give them to a friend of mine to take to him whenever they saw him. He would tell them to tell me he was flattered and that I was too young for him because he was 3 years older than me. I eventually stopped writing him letters and started hanging out in the neighborhood where he would be at. He had 2 younger brothers around the same age as my cousin Godiant. He also had an older cousin named Tony that lived with them and their mother in a small house that was on the corner of these apartments where my friend Dee, her older sister, and their mom lived at. Tony and Jason looked a lot alike, nearly like twins. The way I would hang around him was when I would go over to my dad's sister Mary and her husband Miles's house. They lived in a small house across from those same apartments. I would get up early most mornings during the summer and walk about 4 miles from Wildwood's apartments to go over to Dee's house and hang out. Sometimes I would go back and forth to my aunt's home, while Mom would work 2 jobs to take care of Karam and me. Since there was no grandma around to discipline me anymore to keep me in line, and our oldest cousin, Corey, was locked up in prison, and so was our dad, Mom gave Karam permission to keep me in line when she was away. That was her biggest mistake, because he let it go to his head and started acting like he was my dad. I would tell him, "You came out of the same hole I did, and you were only 2 years older than me. You are not my daddy, and if you ever hit me, we are going to be fighting. You will have a fight on your hands, because I will not stand, lay down, nor sit there and let you hit on me." So, Karam and I fought like cats and dogs, destroying everything in our way when Mom was away. But there were times when we didn't fight, and we would have some peaceful days. But when it was on, because I was not afraid of him. There were also times when his friends would come over to our apartment and Karam would tell me to leave. That was when I would seize the moment and walk over to Dee's apartment to hang out. One particular day was different from any other days, and on this day my aunt and uncle were not at home, so I'd walked across the street to go see if Dee were at home. Jason and one of his guy friends were standing downstairs, outside Dee's apartment talking. Jason saw me and asked for me to come to him. "Can I see your ring?" he asked. I walked up to them both to show him, "See," as I lifted my left hand up to his face to see. "I can't see it." "Take it off, so I can see it better," Jason said with a smile on his face. I took it off my finger to allow him to take a better look at it, and he put the ring on his finger, then ran towards his house. I started getting worried because Mom told me not to take it off for anyone. Dee came outside on the patio. "What is going on?" she asked. "Jason took my ring. My mom gave it to me for my birthday. I cannot go home until I get it back. He knows I will get into trouble if I go home without it. Why is he playing?" I was getting upset. "I will tell my brother if he does not give me my ring back." Dee came downstairs. "Come on, let us go over to his house and get it back." My cousin Godian was with me, and I didn't want her to get into any trouble because of my foolish mistake. It was starting to get dark, and I had a curfew. I was to be in the house before darkness fell. Now I had 3 things to get in trouble for: my ring, missing my curfew, and keeping Godian out late with me. I was scared and nervous. I knew Mom was going to ground me, and I was going to have to fight with Karam again. What was I to do? I decided to try to get my ring back. At least I could get one of those issues off myself. In the meantime, we arrived at Jason's house, and Dee knocked on the door. Jason answered the door. "What?" with a funny laugh as if things were funny. "Give Tanya back the ring that her mom gave to her. You know Karam will get you." I was only going to keep it for a little while. I was going to give it back. "It's in my room. Come in, and I will get it." We walked into his house from the kitchen. It was my first time inside. Jason turned to Dee. "Let me speak to you for a second. Tanya, your ring is on my dresser in my room. Godian, you can go to the living room, where my little brothers are playing video games." Godian started to walk into the living room. "Gee, we cannot stay." "It is getting dark," I said. As I walked into Jason's bedroom, it was dark, and I could not see a thing. I started to feel my way around to find a light switch. As I was feeling my way around, I felt someone touch me. It was Tony. "What are you doing?" I said to him. Jason came into the bedroom and turned on the lights. The lights were a purple color that made everything white glow. I looked around and still could not find my ring. I turned to Jason. Where is it? I don't see it, and where is Dee? Dee went to go get something from her apartment. She is coming right back. She told me to tell you to stay here until she gets back. Your ring is right here. He picked it up from the dresser and handed it to me. Have a seat on the bed and wait for Dee to come back, Tony said to me. I sat down on the bed, not thinking about them, because I had my mom and brother on my mind. I was thinking about what lie I could tell them for the reason I was breaking curfew, to keep from getting in trouble when I got home. I was distracted by fear of what was going to happen to me when I got home, so I was not paying much attention to Tony or Jason. Jason was standing and leaning against the dresser, while Tony came over and sat next to me on the right side of the bed. He pulled out the dresser drawer that was next to the bed and took out a jar of Vaseline, then took it to the bathroom with him. Jason continued to lean on the dresser. He asked, "Now what's wrong? Why are you shaking?" "I gave you your ring back." "I know, but now I'm in trouble because it's dark outside, and I know my mom is home by now. I can't go home now. I'm not ready for this. Mom doesn't take it easy on me. She hits with anything she gets her hands on, plus ground me at the same time. It's not like I can fight her back." Tony came back into the room with something to drink and handed it to me. "What is this?" "You know I don't drink alcohol." "It's juice," he said. I smelled it to see if it smelled like alcohol. It didn't smell of it, so I drank it all. A few minutes later, I started to feel funny. I didn't know what was happening to me. Tony walked over to me from the doorway of the bedroom, which led to the hallway, and to the bathroom and the other rooms in the house. Jason's mother was at work, and we were without adults. Moments later, I woke up with Tony on top of me with his penis inside of my anus. I started moving away from underneath him, asking him to get up and let me up. He covered my mouth with his hand and continued to stroke me. I pooped on myself, all over him and the bed. The smell was so loud that he stopped. Then I jumped up and grabbed my pants, yelling at Godian to come on, let's get out of here, while pulling up my pants. As we were running out the kitchen door, Dee was walking up to the door. I did not say a word to her. I was too afraid to go home. "Gee, we are going to have to go over to Aunt Lesla's house. If Aunt Lesla asks you, where are we coming from? Tell her we just came from a party and we're too tired to walk home because it is dark outside." When we arrived at the house, Aunt Lesla asked where we were coming from. I took a shower to clean myself up, then went into the room where our grandma was sleeping in her bed. I saw she was asleep, so I got myself a blanket from the other room and came back into her room, laid on the floor and cried to sleep. Everything happened so fast, and that was the moment I'd realize I was not innocent anymore. Lesson number 1. I kept this a secret for 24 years. I did not tell a soul. Godiant knew something happened that night, but she did not know full details of what happened. Throughout the years of my life, the hunting of that night ate away at me. I knew if I would have told Karam and Corey, they would have killed them both. I did not want my brother and cousin to get locked up because of me. So, I did what most girls and women do according to study. Women often blame themselves for being raped. A study out of George Washington University based on surveys with 129 female college students who survived rape found that the majority of the women, a whopping 62%, assigned fault to themselves for being sexually assaulted. I blamed myself for many years to come. I kept telling myself, if only I would have gone home that night and taken that punishment, it wouldn't have happened to me. When I got home the next day, I did not get a whooping, but I did get grounded for a week. I believed it was because my mom and brother were happy to see I was okay because that same night Jarvis Hammond, one of Corey's friends, had gotten shot and killed, which took the focus off me. If I could go back to that 13-year-old girl, I would tell her, it is not your fault. Do not blame yourself. Do not be afraid to tell someone that can help you. Those guys were old enough to know what they were doing to you. You do not need to carry around this heavy burden. Then I would tell her to pray and tell God our Heavenly Father about it. Give it to Christ. I would teach her how to forgive herself.
So that's the introduction, and that's the beginning of when it all began for me. I was no longer innocent after that night. I never told anybody about it because I was so afraid that I was going to be judged. They was going to point the finger at me and say I was the reason why it happened. And I didn't think they would believe me. 13, I was a kid. Yeah, I had no business being over there. But a lot of us as 13-year-olds, we don't listen. We do a lot of things that we want to do thinking that we can do it, not knowing the outcome that can happen if we continue to do everything we're not supposed to do. So at that beginning stage of my life, I had a lot of mishaps after that. I was having poor choices in men. I made big mistakes dealing with boys and guys. And when I became grown, I was still making those same mistakes. And mainly because I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't know who to talk to. Back in those days, that was in the 90s. That was early 91 when that happened to me. My grandmother had just passed right after that. When that happened during the summer. So around Christmas, my grandmother died December 18th, 1991. So I had a lot going on. I had a lot. So when I was younger, I spent a lot of time with my grandmother when she was healthy. She was the one that kept me out of trouble. She was the one that made sure that I stayed away from boys because I had a tendency to want to hang out with the boys. I was the oldest granddaughter out of all these boys in our family, and only 2 girls that was under me, and they was way younger than me. So it was like, what was I to do? I needed someone to play with, and then I had an older brother, and I know the pronunciation of my brother's name is not Karim, it's Karim. And the pronunciation of my cousin's name is not Gudian, it's Godient. So I have to clear that up. So when you hear that name again, you'll know that it's pronounced Karim for my brother and Godient for my cousin. And I am hoping that, I want to say this though. The lesson that I learned from that situation was that I should have kept my butt home first off. Shouldn't have went over there. Another lesson that I learned is that I should have spoke up. I should have said something. But I know you heard when they mentioned that if I would have said something to my cousin and my brother, they would have killed them. I had a situation that I didn't talk about in the book happen to me where another guy tried to rape me, but this time I was 14. I fought that guy back. I fought him. But as him being a boy, he was older than me, just like the other 2 older than me. He blackened my eye. He bruised my face. He beat me down. And I had to run as fast as I can to get home. And I was so mad and I was so angry that I was like, this is not going to happen to me again. I went in the kitchen and got 2 big butcher knives, big ones, the biggest knives I can find. And I started going, I walked back over there while I was on my way back over there until my cousin, Corey, by this time he was out of prison. He came and he was like, what's going on? And I told him what was going on. He was like, no, you're not going back over there. I'll handle this. So my cousin and his friends and my brother, a lot of them went and they got that guy. And that's what I was trying to say, that I didn't really want that to happen the first time. But as I look back at it, I say, man, this is not good. It's not good when you have people trying to take advantage of you, especially guys who are so much older trying to take advantage of a little girl. And I'm in a small town. So Bay City is a very small town right outside of Houston, Texas. It's very small. And we only have one high school. That's how you know it's small, right? One high school, 2 middle schools. One is a junior high. And then, of course, the other ones are elementary schools. So that tell you the population of Bay City is very small. So everybody do know each other. And that situation, I just don't know how it would have played out if I would have told. But I did keep it a secret. I did not tell anybody for 24 years. I kept it to myself. It ate me up. It ate me alive, because when I got to a point when I wanted to have kids and I started having complications and stuff, I thought maybe that was reason why. That wasn't the reason why, though. But that's what I was thinking, because that dude took my virginity, and it was just not right.
Are you feeling overwhelmed and exhausted by stress? Introducing Stress Management with Imaging Coaching, your ticket to a calmer, more balanced life. In this journey you will be taking with us here at Imaging Coaching, we'll equip you with powerful techniques and tools you can use to conquer stress, regain control, and transform your life. From deep breathing exercises to mindfulness practices, you'll discover the tools to relax your mind and body. Come join us on this transformative path and unlock a world of inner peace and resilience. Don't let stress hold you back any longer. Take charge of your well-being today with Imaging Coaching, your stress management team. Discover clarity. Defeat stress through Imaging Coaching at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com.